This is where the magic happens, right here. Hello again, good people. I'm Jason. I'm back in the high tunnel again, and here's a little update on the video I made a little while ago, a couple of days I guess, about multiplying mycelium. So I attempted a few things. One of the things I tried was trying to grow the King Stropharia on corn, and this jar right here is an example of that. Let me see. This spot right here would be a good one to look at. There's a little clump that's bound together with little white hazy strands of mycelium, shown here at about 40 times magnification. This jar was very well sterilized before adding the fungal spawn to it, and it looks like it's growing, albeit a little bit slowly. I tried it in a few other jars, which I opened up brand new and thought, well, I don't need to do anything special. They're brand new. They must be sterile, right? No. We've got some black stuff here, which is apparently a form of aspergillum. I don't want to know what the red stuff is. And there is a little bit of the white Stropharia mycelium in here. Now, I can probably still use this. Most of the things that are growing in here will not grow on the wood chips, but ew. So, safety tip for the day: just because you think that a jar is sterile doesn't mean that it is. You should always go ahead and sterilize your equipment before using. Now, unfortunately, the video footage that we got from spreading the contents of these buckets, these ones right here, breaking down the bucket and spreading it out, it didn't turn out so well. The audio was corrupted. I'll try to give you a few pictures of video, some footage of what happened and how we laid out a fresh bed for the mushrooms, and I'll probably do a voiceover for that. Alright, here we are with that bucket that I showed you in the previous video. The place where I'm pointing is where a little wine cap mushroom is pinning. There it is at 40 times magnification. We took the buckets and dumped them out to see what was inside them, and I was a little bit disappointed because it did not appear at first like there was very much mycelium running through the massive wood chips, except for where there was contact with the air at the surface. Closer examination, I discovered that there was plenty of mycelial threads running throughout the mess. It was just very hard to see, and it didn't show up on camera very well. Next, we went over to where the bed construction was, and demonstrating the bed here. It is 3 foot by 3 foot and 16 inches deep at the moment, but I can continue to add more cinder blocks as time goes on. I start out by throwing some wood chips down at the bottom, where I have some concrete pavers set up to prevent burrowing creatures from coming up underground. That will be important whenever these make the transition from being mushroom beds into worm beds. So after tossing on a thin layer of wood chips, I go ahead and add a little bit of soil from my pile of soil left over from last year's raised garden beds. I follow that up with the wine cap spawn in wood chips that I've been growing for the past month. I sprinkle them over quite liberally across the surface. And follow that up with some more wood chips and some more spawn. And finally I come across and soak it thoroughly with the garden hose and then cover it up. Not entirely pleased with the way that turned out, but the mycorrhizal fungal inoculation is going well. It's been a few days. This is probably about ready to harvest some from again. And let me just give you a look inside this bucket, and all of that milky white stuff that is growing on the inside is mycorrhizal fungi spreading and multiplying like crazy and smelling like a fruit punch factory. It's beautiful. Oh, amazing how good this stuff smells while it's growing. And right now I'm preparing some more cornstarch and water to feed it with. I'm going to break it down, put it into this bucket here, and put some out on the garden. All that milky white stuff is mycorrhizal mycelium, which I've grown, and I'll show you some of that in a minute. I'm going to add this to the watering can. Just a couple cups ought to do it. Now we're ready to take that out to the plants. I planted some peas here not too long ago. They haven't sprouted yet, but they'll be coming up shortly. And the mycorrhizal fungi that are in this mixture are going to help them grow big and strong. Oh, that's the hope anyway. While I'm over here, I noticed that one of my hazelnuts is starting to put on leaves. It's really good news. Spring is here. There's some greening occurring down here at the ground on this Elaeagnus multiflora. It should be budding out pretty soon. The garlic seems to be doing well. There are little clovers starting to pop up in this bed of Egyptian walking onions. Alright, now that I've spread some of that mycorrhizal fungi around the garden, I'm going to show you how I go about multiplying it so I have more to use later on. You may have noticed in a previous video, when I was planting a pear tree, I took a gallon of water and I added 1 scoop, this size, tiny little scoop, right here, of this brand of organic concentrate mycorrhizal fungi. That was all I put in, and I have since gotten 2 or 3 gallons worth out of it, and there is still all of this left, as I showed you previously. I'm going to give you a close-up look at what's in here. Right there in the strainer, that is all mycorrhizal fungi that have grown in this bucket, which is about 3 gallons right now, out of that tiny little scoop that we started out with. And I'm pleased to say that, although I don't know how effective it's going to be ultimately, the fungi that are in this concentrate are definitely alive, and they are definitely growing when they're fed with that cornstarch, which I boiled down. And you saw at the very beginning, whenever I said this is where the magic happens, and it really is like magic to have this organic additive that can so greatly enhance the vitality of my plants. I suppose I should take a moment to explain what mycorrhizal fungi are and why I'm so excited about having them. Mycorrhiza comes from Latin mycos, meaning fungus, and rhiza, meaning root. But together you have fungus root. It is a type of fungus, or a type of fungi, a very broad category of fungi that form an association with the roots of plants. And it's a symbiotic relationship where the fungus will spread out through the soil and gather up nutrients that the plant can use and exchange them with the plant for some of the byproducts of its photosynthesis, namely sugars. So the plant will feed the fungus, and the fungus gives the plant nutrients that the plant would otherwise have to establish a much more extensive root system to gain access to. And so in this way it helps the plants help the fungi, they support each other. Now some of the research suggests that the relationship goes much further than this, that it may be possible that the photosynthesis occurring here at one plant, one tree, say, that's over everything else, shading everything else underneath it. The products of that photosynthesis go down through that network of fungi underground, where they can be given to smaller plants growing underneath that shade canopy. So I could have I'm going to use blueberry as an example, but it's not really a great example, but I'll use blueberry as an example. I could have a blueberry bush growing in a forest surrounded by trees. Well, the blueberry requires full sun. If you ever go to a nursery and go try to buy one, they'll tell you full sun, it needs full sun. But if you walk out into the woods, what do you see? Blueberries growing in the shade. Well, how is that possible? Well, it's possible because at some point underground there is a fungus exchanging nutrients from the upper canopy, which is providing the shade cover, and the smaller plants like that blueberry underneath. The way the blueberry gets involved in that entire network is a bit complex, and I'll go into it in the future, I promise you, but it would take a bit long to explain right now. Where was I? Oh, yes, that. Let me show you a picture of what those mycelium look like up close. I've got a 40 times magnification image that I can put up on the screen for you. And I need to go ahead and make some room here in this bucket because it's time to multiply it again. That is an awful lot of growth for just a few days, feeding it on nothing but cornstarch. But now that this cornstarch and water is at a temperature that's safe to add, I'm going to add this in. And that is it. I've got about 4 gallons again, which in a few days will once again be ready to go out into the garden. Thank you for joining me today. If you found any part of this video useful, please hit the like button. Don't forget to leave your comments down below. I'm adding more content all the time, so go ahead and subscribe and bang that notification bell so you can get notifications on further content. That's all I have for you today. I'll catch you next time.